GTA 6 isn't here yet, and honestly, I've had enough of waiting. But no worries, open world crime games are still alive and kicking, and some of these gems will make you wonder if Rockstar is really the king of the genre. I've poured hours, maybe too many, into these games, and I promise they deliver. Some are gritty mob dramas that'll leave you breathless, others let you blow up everything in sight just because you can. Forget sitting around for GTA 6, you've got enough here to keep you busy and entertained for months. Let's dive into the top 20 open world crime games you should be playing right now. You might just find your next obsession. This game takes a darker, grittier approach compared to its predecessors, focusing on Nico Bellic's personal journey through Liberty City, a sprawling recreation of New York City. Nico, an immigrant with a complicated past, gets pulled into a life of crime in pursuit of the American dream, only to find betrayal and regret at every turn. One of the game's most engaging elements is its choice-based narrative, where key decisions impact the story's outcomes, giving you more control over how Nico's life unfolds. The combat and shooting mechanics are, in my opinion, the best in the series up to this point. The cover system and improved gunplay make missions feel tight and thrilling. And then there's Liberty City, which feels like a character in itself. Whether you're racing through the streets, running from the cops, or just wreaking havoc for fun, the city's atmosphere pulls you right in. The detail in the environment is unmatched for its time, giving you endless opportunities to cause mayhem. GTA 4 is a must-play for anyone who loves immersive, narrative-driven crime adventures. Mafia Remake gave me serious nostalgia. This faithful remake of the 2002 classic preserves the soul of the original while adding beautiful visuals, polished mechanics, and a few narrative tweaks that make it even better. Set in the 1930s, during the Prohibition era, the game follows Tommy Angelo, a cab driver who becomes involved with the Salieri crime family. The storyline is a classic mob drama, with betrayals, power struggles, and plenty of action. What I loved most about the game was driving around in vintage cars. There's something magical about cruising through Lost Heaven with its old-school charm and vintage atmosphere. The remake kept the original story intact, but I actually prefer the updated ending. It just feels more satisfying. The open world may not be as vast or freeform as modern titles, but the focus on story-driven gameplay makes every mission memorable. It's a must-play for fans of mob stories, or anyone who enjoys a game with a rich, immersive atmosphere. The Godfather 2 is one of my all-time favorite games from the 2000s, especially on the Xbox 360. The game is a blend of mob management and action-packed combat, making it stand out among other crime-themed titles. You get to build your own criminal empire by recruiting members, expanding your family, and taking over businesses, making you feel like a true mob boss. What makes it even more exciting is the way the game connects with the iconic movie characters and events. It's a bit disappointing that the game doesn't explore what happens after the films, but it's still satisfying to relive key scenes and interact with familiar faces. The graphics may feel dated, but the gameplay holds up, offering plenty of variety in missions and activities. If you love strategy mixed with third-person action, The Godfather 2 is a hidden gem you shouldn't miss. It's not just about pulling off heists, it's about running an empire and becoming the most powerful crime boss around. Saints Row. The third is all about pure, chaotic fun. From start to finish, it throws you into over-the-top missions and ridiculous moments that keep you entertained. Unlike other crime-themed games, Saints Row embraces its absurdity. You'll find yourself doing things like fighting zombies, skydiving into a penthouse, and running around the city with a giant purple bat in hand. The customization is some of the best in any open-world game, and being able to design your character however you want adds a personal touch. My favorite part of the game is the zombie mission. It's hilarious and perfectly captures the game's wild anything-goes attitude. This open-world crime game knows exactly what it is, a playground for chaos and creativity, and it leans into that hard. If you love games that don't take themselves too seriously, this is the one for you. Whether you're blowing things up or just driving around in a tank, Saints Row makes sure you're always having a good time. It's a blast from start to finish.
Go to hell! You wanna play, motherfucker? What happened?
LA Noire is unlike any other open-world game, offering a slower, more methodical experience centered around detective work. Set in 1940s Los Angeles, the game puts you in the shoes of Cole Phelps, a war veteran turned detective, as he solves crimes and climbs the ranks of the LAPD. What makes this game so engaging is the realism and attention to detail, from the way characters speak to the historical accuracy of the locations. Every investigation feels fresh, and solving street crimes on the side adds extra depth to the experience. The interrogation mechanics are a highlight. Watching suspects' facial expressions and deciding whether they're lying or telling the truth keeps you on your toes. Driving through Los Angeles is also a treat, with the city feeling alive and full of detail. I've replayed this game more times than I can count, and it never gets old. Rockstar nailed the atmosphere and storytelling, making you feel like you're right there in the 1940s, living the life of a detective. I wish there were a sequel, but even as a standalone game, Louisiana, Noir remains one of the most immersive and unique crime-themed games ever made. If you haven't played this masterpiece, you're missing out on one of the most emotionally impactful open-world games ever created. Rockstar's open-world western is all about immersive storytelling and emotional character development. You play as Arthur Morgan, an outlaw in the Van der Linde gang, navigating his way through a world that's changing faster than he can adapt. Arthur's journey is filled with moments of loyalty, betrayal, and redemption, making him one of the most memorable protagonists in gaming. What truly sets this game apart is the attention to detail. Every sound, whether it's a river flowing, a bird singing, or the distant whistle of a train, adds to the immersive atmosphere. The world feels alive, with NPCs going about their business and wildlife behaving realistically. The slow burn narrative and dynamic interactions with gang members create a sense of belonging that pulls you deeper into the game. RDR2 offers not just a story, but an emotional connection with the characters, especially Arthur. Watch Dogs introduces an exciting twist on the open-world formula with its hacking mechanics, which lets you manipulate the environment around you. Set in Chicago, the game follows Aiden Pierce, a vigilante hacker determined to find justice for his family. The story mixes technology, crime, and revenge, creating a dark, gripping narrative. What makes Watch Dogs stand out is how hacking impacts every aspect of gameplay. You can control traffic lights, hack security cameras, disable enemies' communications, and much more. I found the gameplay to be a refreshing change from traditional crime games. The vehicles handle well, and missions encourage creativity, whether you go in guns blazing or take a more stealthy approach by hacking your way through obstacles. Watch Dogs offers a detailed, atmospheric world where surveillance and personal freedom collide. The hacking mechanics were revolutionary at the time, and Aiden's gritty character keeps the game grounded. If you love crime-themed games with a tech edge, this one's worth your time. After its rocky launch, Cyberpunk 2077 has become one of the best open-world games I've ever played, especially with the Phantom Liberty DLC and post-launch updates. With over 100 hours invested into my playthrough, the game offers an incredibly smooth experience with tons of customization. You play as V, a mercenary in the dystopian Night City, where every choice you make impacts the story and how characters respond to you. The different weapons, skills, cyberware, and quick hacks make every playthrough feel unique, giving players the freedom to craft their ideal version of V. What truly elevates the experience is the world building and storytelling. Night City feels alive, with hidden missions and interactions around every corner. The game's branching dialogue options ensure that no two playthroughs feel the same. You can easily lose track of time exploring the world, completing side quests, and upgrading your character. With the improvements in version 2.1 and the Phantom Liberty expansion, Cyberpunk has evolved into a must-play game for anyone who loves immersive, story-rich open-world experiences. Yakuza 0 is an incredible blend of crime drama, quirky humor, and rich storytelling. Set in 1980s Japan, the game lets you play as Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, both of whom are caught up in the chaos of the criminal underworld. The dual storylines give players a deeper understanding of these characters and how they rise through the ranks of the Yakuza. The game's plot is full of twists, and the character development is impressive. Even minor characters leave a lasting impression. What makes Yakuza 0 among my favorites is the way it balances serious crime elements with absurd humor. One moment, you're engaged in a deadly fight. The next, you're singing karaoke or managing a real estate business. The game's combat system is fun and varied, with each character having their own fighting style. There's always something to do, whether it's participating in side activities or completing optional quests that add more depth to the world. Yakuza 0 is not just normal crime game. It's an experience that made me laugh, cry, and think. Mafia 3 is a game that took some time to grow on me, but once I immersed myself in its story, I was hooked. The game follows Lincoln Clay, a Vietnam War veteran who returns home to New Bordeaux only to find himself drawn into a world of crime and revenge. The narrative is deeply personal and emotionally charged, exploring themes of race, loyalty, and revenge in a way that few other games dare to touch. The game's structure revolves around taking over enemy territories and building your criminal empire. While some of the missions can feel repetitive, the story and character development more than make up for it. Lincoln is a compelling protagonist, and the supporting characters add depth to the narrative. The open world of New Bordeaux is beautifully crafted, with a 1960s setting that feels authentic and immersive. If you're willing to look past some repetitive gameplay elements, Mafia 3 offers a gripping story that's well worth your time.
Go find a hole! Get out of here! Seek and ye shall find. God damn that!
Sleeping Dogs is an underrated gem that brings a refreshing twist to the open world genre with its focus on martial arts combat. Set in Hong Kong, the game follows Wei Shen, an undercover cop trying to infiltrate the Triads. What makes Sleeping Dogs special is how seamlessly it combines hand-to-hand combat, parkour, and an engaging narrative. The combat system is one of the best I've ever seen, with fluid animations and satisfying mechanics that reward skillful play. Hong Kong itself feels alive, with bustling markets, food stalls, and immersive side activities. Whether you're taking part in street races or using CCTV to bust drug dealers, there's always something to do. The story is engaging, filled with betrayal and moral conflict, making it hard not to root for Wei as he walks the thin line between cop and criminal. It's the kind of game that hooks you with its tight mechanics and keeps you invested with its narrative depth. If you haven't played Sleeping Dogs, you're missing out on one of the most polished and rewarding open world experiences out there. Just Cause 3 is a chaotic sandbox designed for destruction. You play Rico Rodriguez, a freedom fighter returning to his homeland of Medici to help overthrow a ruthless dictator. I've put hundreds of hours into the game and even earned the Platinum Trophy, and I can confidently say it's an absolute blast. If you're looking for a game where fun and destruction go hand in hand, this is it. The game's strength lies in its grappling hook, parachute, and wingsuit mechanics, which make traversing the massive open world feel smooth and exhilarating. Few games allow the kind of creative freedom that Just Cause 3 does. You can blow up bridges, hijack helicopters, and tether enemies to explosive barrels, all in the name of fun. The story is serviceable, but the real draw is the gameplay, which encourages you to experiment with the tools at your disposal. The Bavarium resource and explosive abilities give you even more options to create chaos. While the missions can sometimes feel repetitive, the sheer freedom to approach them however you want makes every encounter exciting. Mad Max offers one of the most immersive post-apocalyptic open worlds I've ever explored. As a fan of the movies, I wasn't expecting the game to surprise me, but it did. You play as Max Rockatansky, a lone survivor trying to rebuild his life in a world ruled by warlords and scavengers. The game's vehicular combat is a standout feature, with intense car battles that make every encounter feel like a high-stakes action scene. Customizing your car, the magnum opus, adds a fun layer to the gameplay, making upgrades feel meaningful. The open world is massive, but its sparse population enhances the realism of the setting. Exploring the desert wasteland is rewarding, with hidden relics, enemy strongholds, and scavenger camps to discover. The hand-to-hand combat feels solid, with a satisfying upgrade system that keeps you engaged. What I love most is how the game ties into the Mad Max universe, with excellent voice acting and a gritty atmosphere that stays true to the franchise. If you're a fan of survival games with deep customization and combat, Mad Max is a game you shouldn't sleep on. It's one of the most underrated open-world titles out there. Watch Dogs 2 takes everything the original Watch Dogs did and makes it more fun, lighthearted, and engaging. The game's vibrant world, combined with Marcus's quirky crew of hackers, gives it a fresh feel that sets it apart from its darker predecessor. I loved the hacking mechanics. They are more refined, offering creative ways to complete missions, whether you want to use stealth or go loud with a drone and remote-controlled cars. The open-world design encourages exploration, with plenty of side missions and activities to keep you busy. The customization options and the ability to approach objectives in multiple ways makes every mission feel unique. What I appreciate most about Watch Dogs 2 is how it rewards non-lethal playstyles, allowing you to finish the game without firing a single shot. I recently earned the Platinum Trophy, and I can honestly say that this game belongs in my top 5. If you want a game with challenging gameplay, great characters, and tons of freedom, Watch Dogs 2 is a must-play. Ubisoft, you nailed it with this one. Legion takes the Watch Dogs formula and flips it on its head with the innovative Recruit Anyone mechanic. Instead of playing as a single protagonist, you can build a team from anyone you find on the streets of London, whether it's a hacker, construction worker, or even a retired grandma. This mechanic adds a whole new layer of strategy, especially when combined with permadeath mode, where losing a character means they're gone for good. London is a playground filled with opportunities, but the game's hardest difficulty makes it a dangerous place to explore. You'll need to think carefully about which recruits to send on missions, as every choice can make or break your progress. The freedom to experiment with different characters and skills keeps the gameplay exciting, while the dynamic open world ensures no two missions feel the same. Once I got comfortable with the controls, I turned off most of the HUD, which made the experience even more immersive. If you're looking for a fresh take on the open world genre, Legion offers something truly unique. Ubisoft's bold approach here makes it one of the most ambitious and underrated games in recent years. The GTA trilogy bundles together 3 iconic titles, GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, that shaped the open-world genre. While the launch had its share of technical issues, Rockstar has since improved stability, and the games are now more polished. Each entry offers a unique experience. It comes with GTA 3's groundbreaking gameplay, Vice City's 1980s neon aesthetic, and San Andreas' expansive RPG mechanics still hold up today. These games remain deeply nostalgic for longtime fans, with new visual upgrades making them accessible to a modern audience. Vice City's charm and soundtrack bring the 80s to life, while San Andreas pulls players into a massive open world with gang wars, fitness mechanics, and hidden collectibles. Even GTA 3, the oldest of the 3, still feels satisfying as you climb the criminal ladder in Liberty City. This trilogy serves as a fantastic way to revisit the classics, even with some quirks. If you missed them the first time, or simply want to relive them with updated visuals, the Definitive Edition provides the most accessible version of these titles. With GTA 6 on the horizon, diving back into these games offers the perfect way to pass the time while reliving what made GTA legendary.
No, my bike!
Infamous Second Son stands out as one of the most fluid and enjoyable super-powered open-world games ever made. Set in a fictionalized Seattle, you play as Delson Rowe, a rebellious young man who discovers he has the ability to absorb superpowers. The story centers around moral choices, with a karma system that lets you decide whether to use your powers for good or embrace chaos. Your decisions influence both the narrative and the abilities you unlock, encouraging multiple playthroughs. Delson wields 3 distinct powers: smoke, neon, and video, each offering unique mechanics for combat and traversal. Neon Dash allows you to run up buildings in a flash, while the video power grants invisibility and flight, making exploration feel fast and fun. Though the karma system can feel a bit shallow, the gameplay more than makes up for it, with missions that encourage both creativity and experimentation. The game's visuals are stunning, and Seattle's rain-soaked streets feel alive as you leap from rooftops or glide through the air. It's an underrated title that often gets overlooked, but if you love open-world games with a mix of action, exploration, and moral dilemmas, Infamous Second Son is well worth your time. Need for Speed. Unbound is a refreshing return to form for the Need for Speed franchise, combining high-stakes racing with an open-world twist. The story revolves around a familiar theme of betrayal, but the real star of the show is the gameplay loop, which keeps players hooked. The revamped heat system adds an exciting layer of tension. Race during the day to earn money, but be careful at night when the police are more aggressive. What sets Unbound apart is its freedom to customize. You can tune your cars to perfection, creating unique builds that suit your playstyle. One of the best features is that after finishing the career mode, your unlocked cars transfer to online multiplayer, meaning you can jump straight into races with a fully equipped garage. Winning every race isn't necessary to progress either. Every placement earns cash, making the grind feel much less frustrating. The open world offers plenty of variety, from street races to police chases that test both your driving skills and your nerves. If you enjoy arcade racers with a touch of chaos, this game delivers a smooth, adrenaline-fueled experience. Whether you're competing against other players online or evading cops in solo mode, this game will keep you coming back for more. If you've ever wanted to step into the shoes of Tony Montana after the events of the iconic film, this is the game for you. Scarface rewrites the film's ending. Tony survives the mansion shootout and is now determined to rebuild his empire from scratch. The game gives you full control over Tony's rise back to power, blending crime management with action-packed missions. The game is all about making deals, recruiting gang members, taking over businesses, and expanding your influence across Miami. The combat is intense, with shootouts and car chases at every turn. Tony's sharp one-liners and over-the-top personality bring the character to life in every interaction. If you love the movie, you'll appreciate the loyal recreation of the setting and story elements. The World Is Yours offers a unique mix of empire building and action, making it one of the most memorable crime-themed games ever. This game offers a unique twist on the open-world crime genre, set in Nazi-occupied Paris during World War II. You play as Sean Devlin, an Irish race car driver turned resistance fighter, determined to take down the Nazis one act of sabotage at a time. The game combines stealth, sabotage, and all-out action, giving you complete freedom to approach missions your way. One of the most striking aspects of the game is its art style. Areas controlled by the Nazis are shown in black and white, and as you liberate them, color returns to the environment. The mix of stealth mechanics and open-world exploration gives the gameplay depth, while the undercover crime elements, including smuggling and gunfights, add excitement. In my opinion, The Saboteur is an underrated gem that blends history with crime, offering an engaging story and a visually unique open world. There you have it, 20 open-world crime games that will keep you busy until GTA 6 finally drops. Whether you want to build a criminal empire or hack the city, these games are ready to take you on a wild ride. And listen, don't just sit there thinking about it. Pick a game, jump in, and start your crime spree today. Before you disappear to hijack some virtual cars, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe because you wouldn't want to miss more awesome game recommendations.